Hi everyone, so this is my presentation on warrior ants and natural selection. So here's a brief introduction. The common name is warrior or army ants, they're used interchangeably, and then the scientific name is Doralinae. They're about half an inch in length, and for their lifespan, the queen and her colony can survive up to 20 years, though males often die soon after mating with the queen, and the worker ants survive typically only around a year. And then a fun fact, so army ants are actually practically blind, but they rely on pheromonal systems to communicate. And then here's some background information. So typically ant colonies send out individual scouts to seek out their food sources, then they'll return to the colony to gather a group to go get their food. But warrior ants actually leave their colony in a large group and forage together to locate and overwhelm their prey. And the queen ant is actually wingless. She lays 3 to 4 million eggs per month and has an abdomen capable of expanding during egg production. And then here's a few images of warrior ant colonies. So regarding their habitat, warrior ants are nomadic, meaning they set up temporary nesting sites and then switch locations. They alternate between 2 stages. So during the stationary stage, they'll stay in one location, typically while the queen is laying her eggs. And then during the nomadic stage, the ants will travel in search of food. They often travel during the night and then they'll rest during the day. And the geographical location, so warrior ants are found in the US, Central America, South America, Africa, and Asia. And specifically, they are found mainly in tropical rainforest regions, but also desert, mountain, and swamp regions. Their niche. So warrior ants prey on other species of ants, and some eat insects, frogs, lizards, and nestling birds. Specifically, warrior ants were studied in the tropical lowland, where they were found to be essential to the survival of obligate birds, which I have pictured to the left. The birds will follow the moving army of ants as they're chasing insects, and then this essentially unearths the insects for the birds to consume. And here is warrior ants and the theory of natural selection. So the rating strategy specifically of ants was studied to determine the evolutionary track of warrior ants. And then a key thing to keep in mind, so often in species that live in colonies, the overall fitness of the entire colony is essentially prioritized by natural selection over an individual's fitness. And so army ants perform mass raids in order to feed, and then I have the 4 characteristics listed. Basically, it's a spontaneous initiated raid by the colony to go seek out their food sources. And then warrior ants evolved from ants that performed group raids tens of million years ago, and this transitioned into the mass raids. So this evolution is also correlated with an increase in colony size. So typically ant colonies range from 100 to 200,000 ants, whereas army ant colonies range from 150,000 to 2 million ants. And then here's a conclusion. So basically, scientists have determined that the increase in colony size led to the evolutionary changes to the collective behavior of the ants through natural selection. The behavior of the ants transitioned into a coordinated, spontaneous raid, allowing for the warrior ant colonies to become a key predator to their prey, which demonstrates how the selected trait promotes fitness, which we know is those best suited for survival and reproduction. So the mass raid trait of the colony was selected, basically. And then I have a keynote here. So basically, research is still being done regarding the evolution of warrior ants, since there's not much existing information, especially regarding the environmental factors that cause selective pressure. But in the research articles that I read, the behavioral aspects of the mass raids is what is focused on.